Hey, this video is to explain how to make content for the different levels. I'm hoping to get some help generating new gallery items and data points. I'll be working on a system to make these look a little better for the demo. So this is an audio data point. Here is a gallery object. They're both under content blueprints. The data points, you have a base, which you won't need to touch, and then you have the audio, image, and video. So we'll create a new image one real quick. I'll drag it into the scene, and you can see the custom settings here. We won't need sounds. The sprite I'm not using right now. Widget sound. So for the image, I just need images to display, and I can have as many as I like. So if I want to do a couple of them here, I'll just do a couple textures. The controls will let you go from left to right on the images, and you can do as many as you choose with this text down here explaining the images, and so you'd have one for each image. So I'll just type in 1 and 2. You can take a look at the audio one, and it is going to be playing. Let's see if it's down here. Okay, so the sound is going to be, these are the ones that Nate recorded, the key dates. I'm on the Matilde level, and so this image will show above the thing when you activate it. Right now it's not there, but it'll be just a big image block, and then play audio and pause. And so you select the audio, you select whatever image you want to have, and I just picked a random image of the asteroid. And you don't need to worry about the sound. That is about like the beeps when you click on it. So it's just picking the audio for that one. Going back here, let's say I wanted to get an image. Part of this task is for me to give content ideas. And here I'm just going to the NASA near mission images that we've been referencing. So I think we've all seen this a bunch of times, but you just type in near NASA mission, and this would be like the top result. It's NSSDC. And so I looked at this mosaic, which is one they put together from several images. So during the flyby, I'll save it as to a mosaic. JPEG is fine, and I will go to my directory repository here. I'm in the content, and I have it under images. For audio files, if we do more audio recordings, you go to sounds, and then there's audio data point. For a video data point, you go to movies, and nothing's going to show up here, but I'll show you how to do that in a second. So back to the images, I'm going to do, this would be the icon for the audio data point. Here is my image data point. I'm going to save it there, and when I come back into the engine, you'll see that it automatically wants to import that. You say yes. So now it should be ready to select. I'll go to my image data point and pick one of my images. And I've got the mosaic right there. So let's just say I wanted the mosaic and the image. And I would say, you get the idea. And that should be all you need to do to set it up. So under the hood, just a little bit, the base is our parent class, kind of. And it's going to create the widgets and set the information based off what you get put in there. When you overlap it, it updates everything to make sure you have the right one you're looking at. And then in the overlap, it disables, it turns off the particle effect and changes what's being shown. And then just looking at one of the children, the video data point, just it's kind of like you don't overload it, you just extend it. So it's doing everything that one does at the gameplay, and then does everything you want to do. You can overload things, like if we left some function over here, made like a do something function and didn't implement it, you can come over here and override that function down here. Shouldn't need to for this. And so I just have a little bit of unique code here, but it's basically just a holder so that they're all distinct. And then this video data point has a widget, which is the data point, and it's got a lot of the logic that it connects to the blueprint that you place it in. So here's that widget here, and just as a piece, as a component of this one. And then the last one, we'll look at that video data point, and I think I already mentioned just set the video to play, and that is it on this. It just play, pause, restart, close. I mentioned how to add videos, so I'll go back to the blueprints, content, and then movies, and you'll see these weird icons. What I've got in the folder are the actual MP4s. I think it wants MP4s, and you can go to the like a file convert online kind of thing if you need to change one. But dragging it into this folder does not import it like it did with the other thing. You have to take this and move it in here. You can see the cursor has a little plus there. If I drag it in here, it'll create one of these automatically, and then it's available as that. So that's how to create all the data points. The last one is the object, and for this, the settings that you need to mess with are under default save info, and you would set the mesh. Otherwise, it would just be a default either cube or no mesh. And then whatever the material is. It looks like we've got all of that together here, so you wouldn't need to put anything for this. I think. Yeah, because this one's working fine in the game. And the displayed on is done automatically. Index will be updated. Unlocked stays that way. So this is all good to go. You just create a new, navigate to this thing, create a new gallery object, and just set the mesh. So let's say I want to do near, and it's good to go. This is bigger than we want, so pressing R, you see W for movement, rotation, and scale. So I'm just going to grab this, all three axes, and shrink it down to whatever size I want. And right now, you can't really grab it this far down. It's kind of got to be about here. But that's what I'm going to be working on. I'm going to hide them under a rock and scan them. And when they're revealed, they'll kind of like pop. And then they'll move up to a height that's good and kind of like bob up and down. And rotate around. So that's it. Just set the mesh. And if it's not all in one like this one, I think we do have a little bit broken. But if you need to, you'd set some sort of material. And that's all the data points and the gallery objects. Hoping to get some content generated here. I just chose the Matilda map, and I went to just NASA. Oh, sorry, not for that one. I just Googled NASA Matilda, and it brought me to this part of the page that we've seen a lot. And I was also, one more thing, I added this just today on these source URL, and this is mostly for me right now. In the gallery scene, I want to take this and make a citation widget that will show up next to anything in the gallery mode. So like when we put it on the pedestal, it'll have it cited. But I didn't want that in the experience, so no in-text citation. But if you would, wherever you get that image or movie or whatever, include that URL, so at least as a breadcrumb so that I can find it if I need to find some other information. So just try to go through NASA. We can use them automatically. And then aside from specific things, like for each key date, looking up for the flyby, looking for the gravity assist, looking for landing on Eros. Aside from that stuff, just nasa.gov has these galleries and lots of stuff just fed to the front page too. So I just thought it would be cool to have random space stuff. We'd click on one of these things, get the media, maybe copy some of this text. This, as another example, if this is YouTube, we can stream videos instead of downloading them all and building up the file size, so we can get a stream object, and as long as wherever we're displaying this thing has an internet connection, which it always should for the user, they'd be able to stream this into the game from the web. But this would be the URL you grab, whatever media you want, and hopefully some information to go along with it, especially if it's like an image data point where it has the text box. And I wanted to also include just anything credible. So probably not Wikipedia, but maybe any .org, .gov that has cool information in the space, I think would be good ideas. And I'm working on the systems to include these, but I'd really like help with creating content for them, creating examples of them for each map. And don't worry about the fact that they're just kind of plopped on there. If I have them in there with all the right info and we can go through and test that they work, then I can keep developing how they work, and that'll automatically update and still work. So like these guys, I'd like to, I'll go into that with the other tasks. That's it. Thanks.